back to Simply Avalon. So today, in case you can't tell from the title, I am making a video that is kind of a story time, but also kind of an advice video on how to make sure you get your driver's permit on the first time. I'm not at 100% at the moment. My voice is going in and out. I don't really know why, but I've been drinking some tea and it's been kind of better. But you know, just wanted to tell you guys that in advance. And then if you're wondering why I have makeup on this side of my face and none on the other, I have been working on a homecoming makeup look for you guys. So hopefully that will be up in the future, but who even knows? Anyway, let's get on with the video. So you have just turned 15. You are ready to get out there and drive. Or, I mean, you just want your driver's permit and you just want some freedom, you know? So, if you guys did not know, I turned 15 on August 26th, which some of you guys also know that I am in 10th grade, so that means I was basically one of the youngest kids in my grade, if not the youngest kid in my grade. It happens, you know, it happens. So I was one of the last people to actually get their permit. Everyone else is getting their driver's license, but your girl is getting her permit. So what you need to do before even thinking about getting your permit is studying for the test. There's 3 different ways that I would suggest that you study for the test. 1, check and see if they actually have an app. Now, I live in Alabama and the DMV here actually had an official app out on the App Store for people to actually just be able to review all the questions that they would see on the test. It would be the exact same pictures, exact same format. It was just like literally the test on your cell phone. And secondly, you can actually buy the official book. So every state has their own rules and you can't just buy another state's book. So even though I live in Alabama, if you live in California, don't get the Alabama book. And if you just don't feel like doing either one of those, just pay attention to what your parents do or your older siblings do in the car. And also pay attention to the signs you see on the street. Half of the signs out there, you're probably gonna get tested on the test to see if you know what they mean. I still suggest, from experience, to get the app if your state has one. So, you are now ready to take your permit. Before you even think about going to the DMV, I suggest you actually getting an appointment. Now, this is not just like the end-all be-all. You don't have to have an appointment, but it makes it 10 times easier and quicker if you actually have an appointment. So, that actually means looking before the week of your birthday. So, that means like, I'm saying that a lot. Ugh. But the weeks before your birthday, go ahead and just find a day of your birthday if it is during the week, not the weekend. The DMV is not open on the weekend. Go ahead and just sign up for a time slot that works for you. Now, if your time slot is not available, you can still just show up at the DMV. You don't have to have an appointment. Now, for me, what ended up happening was I had an appointment for the Wednesday after my birthday, but I actually did not want to wait that long, so I just went in on the day of my birthday, which was August 26th, which was a Friday, and I went right after school. And thankfully, my school ends at 2:55, so we get out way before the other public school high schools do, because they get out at 3:30. So I kind of beat any crowd that would be there from like high school students who are wanting to get their permit at all. You know what I'm saying? So I beat that crowd, so even though I didn't have an appointment, I ended up getting in there maybe with just a little bit over 10-minute wait time. It was pretty fast. Especially since my mom was cautioning me, saying that sometimes she's been stuck in the DMV for like an hour or later because they can make you wait as long as they want. Anyway, let's just get on with it. So there are 3 documents you also need to bring. 1 is your birth certificate. So proof that you are actually a citizen, basically, of America. Secondly, you also need to bring your social security card. Sorry, I had to look down for that one. And just your proof of security. For both of these documents, you cannot bring copies. Do not bring a copy. They will just turn that away for obvious reasons. And then your third thing that you have to bring is an document that proves that you are enrolled in a school of some kind. Now, if you are a homeschool student, then I'm not necessarily sure how this would work. You can also bring like a school ID or a school schedule. But I suggest you just printing out the documents that are on your DMV's website and just having your principal fill out those for you. And it doesn't have to be the principal either. It can be the secretary, etc. Just get them filled out by someone official within the school. So, you have gotten everything ready, just like I did, and now you are ready to take your test, honey. So, now you need to make sure that you bring the amount of money that you will need. So for me, in Alabama, you need $5 to take the test, and then the actual driver's permit costs $32. So, you are going to go walk into that DMV, you're going to have your appointment or whatever, and you're going to walk in, you're going to wait for a good 10 minutes or so, and then you are at that desk, okay? You're scared out of your mind because you've heard that people at the DMV are mean, but you still don't want to judge too soon, right? You walk in, you sit down in that plastic chair, and then all out of nowhere, you're just like, hi, my name is Avalon, and I want to get my driver's permit. Yeah. So we just went through this whole process. It was actually really easy. Make sure you bring your glasses if you need glasses or your contacts, because let me just tell you, the girl beside me actually got turned away because she left her glasses at home. So she got the test finished, she passed and everything, but since her eyesight wasn't 100% without glasses, they didn't allow her to get her driver's permit. Yeah. So bring your glasses if you need them, or your contacts. You don't want to get turned away. But you take your eye test, and this was actually pretty easy for me because I just had my glasses. But they can choose any line. It's just like any normal eye test. I'll show you a picture over here. But they can choose you to read off the letters on line 7 or line 6 or line 5. Actually, this guy who went after me, his person actually had him do line 7, and I was just like, ooh, because those letters are so tiny. I kid you not. I mean, you have to pass your eye test. And if you use glasses, it's actually going to print out a little C there on your driver's permit to tell officers if they ever pull you over that you must be wearing your glasses. Still, a 15-year-old, you can actually get your driver's permit, suspended for not wearing your glasses. It's just something you need to know. So after you have passed your eye test, you go on to take the driver's permit test. And from us, they say it's a written test online, but really you just go to the computer and you put on the headphones and they read out the questions to you and you just answer. It's multiple choice questions and you're allowed to miss 4, I believe. And it's like, I don't really know how many questions there were, but you have to get like 23 correct. But after that, you have to go wait in line again, and I forgot something. Before you even take the test, they go ahead and take your picture in advance. And this is not a passport picture, guys. You can actually smile. So then after that, they're going to question you on like, what's your weight, what's your eye color, what's your hair color, and stuff like that. And then also if you want to be an organ donor in the case that you get like in an accident. After you've passed your test, you're going to go back to the person that you had before, and they're going to print you out a paper version of your driver's permit. They're going to make sure that all of your information is correct, and then you're going to sign your driver's permit, say that it is legal, basically, and pay your $32 to actually have a copy. Now, here's the one thing that I totally did not know. I thought that you would immediately get the card version of your driver's permit. Turns out you get a paper version to start out with, and then they will send you the card version within 30 days. So I'm still actually waiting on my official driver's permit, but it's okay because I have the paper version. And that's really all of my advice / story time. Nothing really interesting per se actually happened with my driver's permit, but I just thought that I'd help you guys out and tell you what to expect for your driver's permit test, because I wish I would have had a video like this. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Ever since I left the city, ever since I left the city, ever since I left the city.